Welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another lore video. Today's topic is one of the principle of the ancestor gods of the dwarves. I'm of course talking about Grungi. So without further ado, let's begin. Grungi is one of the three chief ancestor gods of the dwarves, alongside his brother Grimnir and Velea, whom he and his brother are joint husbands of. Grungi is portrayed to look exactly like a male dwarf, which is cladded entirely in chainmail, with a forked iron grey beard that reaches to his feet. It is said that Grungi normally carries a miner's pick, but when he is called to war, he normally arms himself with his runic warhammer, Drungundum, which when translated means thunder hammer. He is considered to be the most important of the dwarven deities, as he is the ancestor god of mining, stonework, and metalwork. Dwarven lore dictates that he was the first to delve into rock, to mine the ores, and to smelt them into metals. It is said that he took this knowledge and presented it to the dwarven race, and this way he was able to give the dwarves the tools and the means to defend themselves against their enemies, and make the dwarves the technologically advanced race they are today. For interestingly enough, and not known by many other than the dwarves themselves, if the ancestor gods had not presented themselves, the dwarves would have been little more than just savages, living in caves, foraging for berries, and hunting with just their bare hands. Grungi's smith work can be matched by no other, and it is said that he has created some of the most powerful dwarven artifacts, including the Throne of Power, which has been sat upon by every reigning dwarven high king. Grungi was able to foresee the coming of chaos, and led his dwarves into the safety of the earth. And when the time was right, he marshalled forth the dwarven armies to battle chaos for the sake of the whole world. Grungi's main symbol is the miner's pick, which represents that he opened up the underground world to the dwarves. A stylized depiction of a helmeted face with a long forked beard is also sometimes used. Grungi is worshipped by dwarves throughout the Old World and Norska, and interestingly enough, within the city of Torabo, he goes by the Tilinized version of his name, Grungnio. Perhaps the most interesting note about this is that he's not just worshipped by the dwarves of Torabo, but also by the humans. It is said that the dwarves of Torabo actively encourage this, and their great god will protect anyone who wishes to pay him respects. Temples to Grungi can be found all over the Old World and through Norska. However, the largest temple is located in Karagazul, but this is not considered his high temple, as Grungi's high temple and the seat of the cult of Grungi is located in the capital of Karazakarak, as that is where the Throne of Power, which is used by the dwarven high king, is located. Every dwarf hold and dwarf settlement, regardless of its size, has a temple dedicated to Grungi. These are normally found adjacent to the audience halls in the dwarven holds, and they are lavishly decorated and carved with scenes with ancient dwarf myths. At the far end of the temple are two great statues to Grungi, which stand on either side of a dais, upon which stands a throne flanked by two lecterns. This is so the clerics of Grungi can preach the word of Grungi. Stone pews are arranged in neat rows in front of the dais, to allow ample seating for the worshippers of Grungi. Human cities with sizable dwarf populations, such as Torabo, have underground shrines built to Grungi. This is normally out of respect to the dwarves and or their god, and also to not offend the dwarves, thus having no grudges against them. Grungi and his cult are naturally allied with the other cults of the dwarf pantheon, and also with the human cult of Sigmar. This is due to a powerful alliance that was formed between the dwarves and Sigmar in ages past. The cult has a tolerant respect for the old faith and the halfling cults, and they consider themselves neutral towards other old world cults, but feel apathy towards the elven cults. Naturally, the cult of Grungi is hostile towards the enemies of the dwarf race, especially the greenskin hordes and the followers of chaos. Major festivals dedicated to Grungi are held every 100 days, and 9 lesser festivals are held between the major days at intervals. Interestingly enough, regarding the cult requirements, The cult of Grungi is open to any adult dwarf, and it is said that before joining the cult you must be considered a full, rightful adult. The cult of Grungi has a small number of scriptures, which must be followed by all initiates and clerics at all times. They are as follows. Always strive to advance the clan's reputation through solid workmanship. Always ensure that tunnels and chambers are structurally sound. Render repair upon any structure when it becomes unsafe. Always work a mine to extract all ore and valuable stone to enhance the well-being of the clan and race. Never be wasteful to the earth's mineral bounty. Never surrender to goblins or their kin. Never refuse an opportunity to regain control of a dwarf hold that has fallen to the enemy. And finally, never miss an opportunity to slay Chaos Dwarves, as their continued existence brings dishonor and shame to the race. Finally, we come across the trials set by Grungi, which often involve clearing portions of fallen dwarfs' holds of the enemies of the dwarves, such as orcs, goblins, skaven, and any other vile creature which has taken up residence in the fallen hold. Other trials do exist, such as extending a dwarven hold to take advantage of newly discovered mineral deposits or a new source of underground water. Or finally, constructing or extending a temple or a shrine to Grungi himself. And with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our lore video. If you did like the video, may I suggest giving the video a like and or subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. But thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all soon.